7 line to all break the ribbon together. So I want to introduce our first speaker, who is Mayor Hamilton, and I'm going to add a little positive note.
Oh, nice! What a feature!
Mayor Hamilton proposed the bicentennial bonds in 2008, and the 7 line is part of a bicentennial bond. So I just want to thank Mayor Hamilton for including this project and recognizing the importance of this really major connection. Mayor Hamilton.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will take this off when I'm up here. Beth, I appreciate it. It's nice to be with you all. I'm sorry I'm a little hoarse today, but all healthy, no problem. This is a really exciting and fun day to be here. As Beth mentioned, this was and is one of 4 trail projects in the bicentennial bonds. And if you remember that, which the city council passed. Is there any city council member here I need to say nice things about? Oh, Beth Rosenbarger, Kate Rosenbarger is here. Thank you, Kate, and your fellow council members for passing those bonds, which supported, among other things, 4 trails. Thank you. Whoa, thank you, Kate. Among other things, 4 trails. And besides this one, each of them is quite exciting, and they also help connect a bunch of stuff. So we are ribbon cutting the 7 line today, but also watch for, in the future, the Cascades Trail, our oldest park, 100 years old next year. The West Side Trail that will run from Switchyard over to the west side on or about the utility line easement, we hope. And also the Griffey Lake Loop Trail. It's going to take you around Griffey. So that's all in the future. But today we're here for this beautiful multimodal 7-line street trail project. A dedicated separated bike lane, also bus amenities that are very important for those who use the bus, of course, helping walkers as well, meant to create more comfort, more ease for those of us who are not in automobiles. I often talk about 2 big challenges in front of us as a community. How do we try to do our part to make sure we have a world to live in next year, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, with sustainability and climate response? And second, in that world, how do we make sure we have a place for everybody, that everybody is welcome and can thrive? Inclusion. And actually this project helps both of those big things. It definitely helps us create a more sustainable community, reducing our carbon footprint and creating lots of opportunity for that, whether you're a biker, a skateboarder, a scooterer, is that right? Scooterer, I don't know, a walker, a bus rider, or any other things that get you around these days, some of which I don't know what to call them yet, but we'll figure that out. It helps sustainable transportation. And second, it also does make us a more inclusive city to help people who may not have the resources, capacities, abilities to more easily participate in our city, get around in our city. And it's really fun too. It's going to be fun to use this trail, and I've already enjoyed it. So now, making this happen takes a lot of people, some of whom are here. I want to just call out several. And first, I want to note our engineering department, which was in charge of making this happen. City Engineer Andrew Seabor, wave your hand, Andrew. Thank you, Roy Eddington and Neil Copper, all 3 of you, Roy and Neil. Roy was the Senior Project Manager over construction, Neil, Senior Project Engineer for review and design. So, if you don't like anything about it, talk. Or if you have suggestions, let's just put it that way. If you have suggestions. No, we really appreciate the integrity and the steady attention to detail that you guys gave. I want to thank also Scott Robinson and Beth Rosenbarger and their team from Planning and Transportation. Waves is there's Scott in the back there. Thank you. We have Parks Department is involved. They still have some trees to plant, but they've been very involved with. I don't know if Paul is here. I saw Tim Street here. Thank you, Tim. Aaron Hatch is Aaron here, our arborist in charge of our trees. Thank you for them. Appreciate it. Our City of Bloomington Utilities has a new program in the last year or two for green stormwater, and they have invested in this project as well to help create rain gardens and others. And both Vic Kelson, our director, is here with a bike, I know, and is Phil Peden here too. Vic, where'd Vic go? Give them thanks for CBU. All right, there we go. And finally, from the City of Bloomington Transit, I don't know if John Connolly is here or Zach. We thank his predecessor, Lou May. Thank you. Training bus riders to drive down this new 7 line. We appreciate that. So also, I want to give specific thanks to Indiana University and Dean Mooney. We're so glad you're here. I know you will hear from you shortly. The partnership has been so important, and many private property owners, business owners along the way. Let me also thank our private partners who designed and built this, American Structure Point and Milestone Construction. Some are here, I think. Wave your hands if you helped build this thing. Thank you for doing that so well. So I'm just going to close. I know we want to ride bikes. This stuff matters to a city. Doing this kind of project makes a difference for the future of the city. This is a 3/4 mile trail. You may remember the Beeline is a 3.1 mile trail. But the 7 line, when we're through with it, because we have more to do, will be longer than that. When we get it all the way under the bypass, all the way over to where 446 and Brewster's are, is the goal down the way to create this great east-west ribbon through our city. That will change lives. It will let people enjoy their lives better, improve their quality of life. It will enhance our sustainability. It will improve our inclusion as a city. So this stuff matters. So the last thing I want to say is this only happens. This only happens because our community supports this stuff. Many of you are here, part of the community that supports these investments. And I want to thank you, our whole community, for supporting these kinds of investments, which do not happen automatically, and they really make a difference for our city. So on behalf of the city, let me thank all of you, our community, for being such great supporters of trails and this kind of fun infrastructure. That's all I got. Does it go back to you, Beth? Thank you. All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Hamilton. Up next, we have Dean Mooney, who is Dean of the O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs, and she is an avid bicyclist, and she's an economist who's extensively researched topics of environmental importance, including climate change and the use of natural resources. Let's welcome Dean Mooney.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Beth, and thank you, Mayor Hamilton, for inviting. Thank you for inviting me to join you today. So I'm Jeanne Mooney. I'm Dean of the O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs here at Indiana University, and I'm absolutely delighted to be a part of the 7-line ribbon cutting ceremony. I'm a Bloomington resident, and I ride my bike as often as the weather permits, and I'm really glad that it did permit today. So whether it's to and from work or exploring the city, I just love being here on 2 wheels. So with today's opening of the 7 line, many of our commutes are about to get even better. It's a wonderful addition to the entire Bloomington community, and I'm very much looking forward to the expanded access to downtown and another of our city's best treasures, the Beeline Trail. I'm also very much looking forward to the other 3 trails that are about to be built. That will really very much enhance our riding pleasure. So as I mentioned earlier, the O'Neill School is IU's home to the study of public and environmental affairs, and we offer world-class programs focusing on the environment, sustainability, and climate change, in addition to many other areas. And if anyone would like to hear more, I'd love to talk to you after this ceremony. We offer these programs both in Bloomington and in Indianapolis. We're always encouraging our students to live by leading for the greater good. And when we walk, bike or use public transportation, that's exactly what we're doing. So transportation accounts for almost a third of the greenhouse gas emissions across the US, and well over half of those emissions are from personal vehicle use. Anything that we can do to reduce these emissions is going to make a fantastic difference now and also for future generations. The 7 line is just the latest example of Bloomington's commitment to decreasing our personal impact on climate change and vastly improving our overall quality of life. As Mayor Hamilton mentioned, this protected bicycle lane and improved bus routing is going to encourage many more of us to bike, to walk, and to use public transportation to get to our destinations. I might have mentioned earlier that I ride my bike to campus and around the city as often as possible, and so does my husband. Cycling is really woven into the fabric of our lives, and I can see from the number of bicycles among us today that many of you are also the same. For this city to spearhead this project that will encourage people to drive less and cycle more safely, as well as access public transportation, is absolutely inspiring, and we're bettering both our personal and environmental health. The 7 line connects the city to the IU campus, and it brings an additional layer of safety to our faculty, the staff, and the students who want to move efficiently between campus and downtown. I'm so honored to be with you all today, and I look forward to seeing you on this stretch of road in the times ahead. And Beth, are you next? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jeanne Mooney. Up next, we have Jeanne Smith. Jeanne is the founder and owner of Bikesmiths Bicycle Shop, a longtime bicycle shop right in the downtown of Bloomington. And Jeanne is also, I'll say, a rock star volunteer at the Bloomington Community Bike Project, which is right here. She's put in a lot of hours volunteering and hosting Women's Night at the Bike Project and really trying to help bring along other volunteers. So thank you, Jeanne.
Everybody else had a piece of paper and I don't. That's always dangerous. I fought I-69 for years, and they'd give us 3 minutes and they'd have a stoplight. I've learned that they told me today I have 5 minutes, and I know I can push that out to 6 or 7 if I try. I own Bikesmiths, and the reason I probably got invited to this was a friend of mine that I ride bikes with every week, and we hike in the wintertime, said this is the stupidest thing he'd ever seen. And I said, and I thought, man, so I decided, okay, I'll go drive that thing and see what he's talking about. Well, they've taken out 5 stop signs, So, whether you're a motorist or a cyclist, this is an improvement to the transportation structure. You come off of IU from the Union, and you fly down through here on either your bike or your car. So I called this a win-win. I wrote a thing on my Facebook page, and I shared it to Bike Project's Facebook page and that sort of thing. And I got an invite to be up here speaking. And despite the fact that we have the Bike Project over here, we knew nothing about this thing until a couple weeks ago, it seems like. So there's no politics going on here, folks. So let's see. That's pretty much what I needed to say, but I do want to say that I know what I wanted to say. I should have notes. Last night I was listening to WFIU, and I heard John Hamilton talking about a coordination of sister cities situation with Palo Alto. And in the 1980s, I went out to Palo Alto and I discovered what they called bike boulevards out there. And sometime shortly after that, I started a group in Bloomington, early internet age, email. We had a 200-member bicycle lobby group, and I went before various committees, commissions, and the things on television with the city council and stuff, and I would argue for improvements for bicycle infrastructure. And I constantly talked about these bike boulevards, and I got no traction, it seemed like. So I looked it up, and Berkeley used to have a moving URL that would describe what a bike boulevard should be. And a bike boulevard, by their definition, was a was a bike path that was parallel to main arteries. It directed the cars away from those paths to those arteries, and it gave bikes as much right of way as possible, so you could drive through there. But the thing that it did, it put planter boxes about every 2 blocks on one side of the road or the other with a slot for a bike to go through. It made it, for the people who lived on those streets, you could get to your street from any place, you just had to know which road to turn off of. It carried traffic, but it didn't direct traffic there. In other words, you could get to any place, but you just had to know which street to turn off the main artery to get there. They also talked about origination points and destination points. And one that I'm going to say to Bloomington that I want them to think about in the future is elevation. And because if you're a bicyclist, if you can avoid a hill, you're going to avoid a hill. This one hits all the points, perhaps not the absolute best on the hill, but it has the traffic going through better than it did before. Nobody can, you can get to any place that you were going to before faster in a car. And we have finally connected IU to the Beeline Trail. And as a cyclist, I'm more of a recreational cyclist. I live out in the county, but from right here, if I want to go to Ellisville, I take this bike trail out here. I go out, it takes me out to Adams Street, I go to 11th Street, I go to 17th Street, I go over the overpass. If I want to go this way, out to 446, as you said, you've already got your underpass. All you got to do is mark it, and it's marked, I think. You go through campus. It took them years to get that thing next to the auditorium deck, but it's there, you know. There's a circle here. If you ride your bike to the end of this thing, which I'm going to take credit for the rail trail, and Lloyd Alcott came up to me when I was doing the Hoosier Fest Criterium and said, you know, we can do this, we can't pave it. Should we put that in there? I said, heck yes, mountain bikes, that's what everybody's riding, do it. But if you ride out here, you get out, you can get over to the Cars Park Trail. And it's, you know, the county, we need to work on the county and connect these things a little better. But you can ride the Cars Park Trail all the way into Cars Park Trail, park past the 4-H fairgrounds. You get over to, there's a little road over there that looks like a bike trail. It's such a narrow road, you think you're on a bike trail. And it'll connect you over to Fullerton Pike. You come up over there, you get on the Clear Creek Trail, you go to there to the, I guess that's the what's the Cars Park Trail? No, any rate, you can loop around here, and it's about a 25-mile. Actually, if you take it clear out to the mall and then come down the path over there to the bottom of the Griffey Lake, it's about 25 miles. I did it last year for my birthday. So it seems like a long distance, but it's only a 25-mile ride, and most of it is on trails. So at any rate, we're pulling this thing together, and like I said, this is the first major trail east-west connecting Beeline and Indiana University. It's fantastic. Woohoo! And I'll bet I took every bit of my 5 minutes or so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanne. Okay, first we're going to do a little bit of a reminder of what you learned in driver's ed, and then we'll do the fun part. So 7th Street is different now. A two-way protected bike lane is new to a lot of us, and it's new to our community. So we're going to review. If you are a driver on 7th Street and you are going straight, and then eventually you want to turn across the protected bike lane, you must yield to people in the protected bike lane because you are making a turning movement. The same way you would yield to somebody who is in the crosswalk there. If you are a bicyclist in the protected bike lane and you want to turn across motor vehicle traffic to go north on a cross street, you have to yield to the motor vehicle traffic in those instances. There are also these little boxes that you can make a 2-stage turn. That's a little advanced, and we'll talk more about it later. We'll post videos, follow Planning and Transportation Department on social media. more content coming at you. If you are a driver or a bicyclist and someone is crossing the street walking, you have to yield to that person. We forget that a lot. I think a lot of people forget that, but you have to yield to the person crossing the street, whether or not you have a stop sign. So just have to remember those things. Then obey stop signs and traffic signals. And if you've seen the route, there's a new little bicycle signal at Walnut and College. So that's a new little signal right for the bicyclists. Yes. Okay, now the fun parts. So when I talk about urban planning as a profession or tell people that's what I do, a lot of times people are like, well, cities are already built, so what are you doing? And I would say what we're doing mostly is re-examining and redesigning spaces to better align with our community's adopted goals. So in the case of Bloomington, we have a thing called a comprehensive plan. It's a real page turner. We love it. And some goals that I would say we have updated 7th Street to reflect include increased sustainability of the transportation system, improve public transit, improve the bicycle and pedestrian network, and prioritize non-automotive modes to make our network equally accessible, safe, and efficient for all users. The 7 line is a great example of this. So 7th Street isn't new. We didn't say, let's make a new street. But our experiences with it will be. And the redesign will shape our behavior in new ways. And I think you might say that's a tall order. Like, how is this really going to reshape our behavior? But then remember what we're standing on right now. There was a time when we didn't have the Beeline Trail in Bloomington. And before the Beeline, I don't know how many people could imagine that a single trail project would reshape our community, or how people get around, how we stop and have social interactions with our neighbors that we run into, how businesses would develop and be built just to face the Beeline Trail. It's just substantially reshaped our community. And now we are literally building on those improvements. And in Bloomington's transportation plan, there is a priority bicycle facility network. 7th Street is the most centrally located east-west connection in that network. We will continue to develop the bicycle network as well as to work on improving walking and transit. And in the case of transportation, research shows that the whole of a network is greater than the sum of its parts. And so we are excited to continue to build the network. They really lost their car. We are excited to continue to build the network, with the resulting improved connectivity and access being greater than any one single project on its own could deliver. And so while we are excited to say this project is complete, we recognize that the work is not done. First, the street will always require maintenance. So for us, this is maybe more of a handoff to Public Works. Thank you, Public Works, for maintaining this into the future. And then we will continue to examine, re-examine, build upon this project, and just as it is building upon the Beeline. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this project.
Okay.
And now we will line up. We can make a walking line and a bicycling procession that we will kind of queue up here. I'd love for our speakers to hop on their bikes and lead this procession. And we will just bike along the corridor that way, and if you are interested, walk along it that way, and then you're dismissed from there. So you just continue on to your destination and ring your bicycle bell as much as you want, because it's fun. Thank you.